the most unique things about Yale is Yale's residential experience. Yale is one of the colleges in the United States where you have to stay on campus for the entire 4 years of your undergraduate career. So all 4 years that you are at Yale, you will have to be on campus. You will stay at one of the 14 residential colleges. So you'll be assigned to a college and you will live there, study there, eat there. We'll talk about what colleges are in a second. But what that means is we are building, Yale is concentrated on building this community experience. One of the things that they really want to do is they want to make sure that students are learning from each other in that residential community. They're building a supportive residential community of learning where the experiences and the free exchange of ideas happens everywhere on campus. And here's how they do it. Every residential college has a head and a dean. A head is a faculty member, and a dean is another faculty member, and they both stay in the same college. So they're staying together with you, typically with their families. In my experience, my head of college stayed with us on campus, and the dean as well. And we would have dinners together. We would go to the dining hall, and every college has its own dining hall. And we'd go to the dining hall, and the family would be there. We would all hang out together and be able to tap into the dean or the head of the college for any questions that we've ever had about the school or about anything that we were interested in. The head and the dean take turns hosting college tea. So every residential college will have a tea where they invite interesting speakers from all over the world. In my experience, for example, we had a former president of Iceland come to my college to do a college tea and talk a little bit more about climate change and how that's impacting Iceland. Every residential college also has a buttery. Buttery is a very exciting place because it's a student-run cafe. It's basically a tiny restaurant-like experience where students are cooking for each other, and you can come there in the very late evening and hang out with others. Typically, there's like full-on communities around butteries. They have their Facebook pages and they post, oh, today we're doing this or today we're doing that. And you'll come down there and people are just hanging out there and spending a lot of time together. Another thing that's really cool about the residential experience is that because the academic program is very intensive with all of the requirements that you have to do and all of the different subjects that are offered, the head and the dean host study breaks. So in between classes, you might be walking past your college and you'll see that there are therapy dogs walking around on the lawn and they're there to support you. Or at some point we had, which was really fun, we had balloons that were there, or we had a dancing competition. Every Friday there would be donuts. There's always a lot of food around on campus. So you always, there's always a free lunch somewhere. But for study breaks, it was really exciting because you knew that the college really supported you and really wanted to make sure that you're doing well, especially during the exams week. And there's also a special competition, the Tin Cup, where students are competing. The colleges are competing against each other. So within Yale, these residential colleges have their sports teams and they're all competing against each other, sometimes in very ridiculous sports as well. And it's a really fun experience because this way you're developing a personal connection, not only to the entire school, so Yale itself, but also to your residential college. And you continue hanging out, talking to and being friends with people from your residential college, not just throughout your college experience, but once you graduate as well. And all of these things impact what it is specifically that Yale is looking for. So first of all, it's very obvious Yale is looking for academic excellence. They're looking for top students. And, that's a given. It's a top school, it's an Ivy League school, and you want to have really good grades. It's especially important for Yale that you are well-rounded in your academic knowledge, because as you can see, they value the development of different areas quite a lot. You have to take subjects from a lot of different areas, or as my literature professor put it, you have to be able to have an interesting conversation when you're launching your party, when you're launching your company. At that launch party, you need to be able to not only talk about your project, so your major, or the thing that you've developed yourself, but you also need to be able to have an intelligent conversation about things like the Odyssey, or other stuff. So it's very important that you are well-rounded, because this is something that the college is trying to build through their curriculum. So if you come to the university and show the university that you are doing really well academically in a lot of different areas, that's going to really win them over. Another thing that's very important for Yale is leadership. The extracurricular projects that you do are extremely important for Yale. They don't necessarily have to be academic. With Yale, it's very important that you're actively involved in the community, you are showcasing leadership, and the Yale policy, the Yale ideal candidate would be really showing strong results in some leadership activity, instead of just showing a lot of strong potential. They want to see someone who has already accomplished something outside of school, and not just a student that has the potential to accomplish something. And a very key, very important thing is community involvement. Because of their residential experience at Yale and just overall their goal to build community of learning, that supportive community where students are learning from each other at dinner, after lectures, in school, in the buttery, in the library, everywhere, including outside of class. It's very important that in your application, you demonstrate that you're going to be a strong community player. You're going to be able to enhance the community experience on campus, and you will want to be part of the community. They really don't want to find someone who's just going to lock themselves in the room and do homework. They're looking for someone who's going to go out there and do homework with others, help others learn from their experiences, and share their love for developing the community and making the world around themselves better. So keep that in mind. It's very important for Yale to see that in your application. So you'll have to showcase that for your activities, for your essays, and just overall, it's a big portion of